I couldn't walk without pain. Every single step, my knees screamed. 10 years of training, 20 hours per week in the gym, following every rule the fitness industry teaches, and I was so broken down I could barely walk to my car after workouts. I was stuck at 15 regular push-ups max, constantly injured, and my body was falling apart. Then I threw out everything I'd been taught. 90 days later, 15 one-armed push-ups per arm, zero pain, and I was training 2 hours per week. That's 2 hours instead of 20. In the next 8 minutes, I'm breaking down the volume mistake that destroyed my body for a decade, why the fitness industry teaches this backwards approach, and the radically opposite philosophy that finally set me free. I'm Connor, and this is how I went from crippled to stronger than ever in 90 days. Here's what I was taught, and what you've probably been taught too. More volume equals more gains. If you want to grow, you need to hit each muscle group multiple times a week. You need to hit high rep ranges. You need to accumulate training volume. Progressive overload means adding more sets, more reps, more exercises. But this philosophy is everywhere. Every fitness influencer preaches it, every program is built on it, and the science supposedly backs it up. And it is true to a tiny degree. And it makes intuitive sense, right? More work equals more results. And that's how everything else in life works, apparently. Except it's not how muscle growth works, really, at all. I spent 10 years living this philosophy. I added more and more volume, and I even made tiny amounts of progress here and there, but it never stuck. And the problems I developed alongside it far overshadowed it. I was very fit, but I stayed at almost the same level the whole time. And the reason is because anyone who exercises a lot is always going to be more fit than someone who barely exercises or who doesn't exercise at all. Truthfully, what this says is that I could have been doing large amounts of anything and still wound up with these same results as long as I hit those muscle groups that I wanted. And also the issues as well. There's only so much time per day for extra volume on top of everything else. Eventually, it's inevitable that with this philosophy, you bump into a negative relationship with exercise where it pisses you off that not only are you getting these injuries from it, but you have to spend so much damn time exercising and you still end up growing so slowly and developing serious and worrisome physical issues despite that. My joints started hurting no matter how careful I was to use the exact proper form. My energy crashed, I was constantly sore, I dreaded workouts because I knew it would only lead to more of these issues, and I had zero life outside of my routine because I was spending 20 plus hours a week training and then a little more time recovering as well. So why does everyone teach this if it doesn't work? And honestly, it's just an innocent mistake. This is seemingly the most intuitive way to think about fitness. You want more results, do more work. And this approach does get results until your joints can't take it anymore, until you don't have enough time in the day anymore to fit any more in. And that ceiling gets conveniently ignored because it's assumed it's just a necessary trade-off. But what if I told you there's a way to get better results with less time, complexity, and zero joint destruction? Your muscle growth from volume-based methods will hit very early limits because of this type of training, and you'll end up just like I did shortly after starting the volume-based method, and you'll stay that way indefinitely as long as you keep doing it this same way. The only thing actually helping your muscles grow during these volume-based methods is the mechanical tension you happen to get out of it while you're doing that repetitive motion. Everything else is just loads of that extra motion that's preventing your body from recovering and growing, and it's destroying your joints, your tendons, and your cartilage, which doesn't even grow back. So I did something radical. And it was scary, walking into the great unknown. But I did it. I threw out everything I'd been taught and started experimenting with the complete opposite approach. Instead of more volume, I asked, what's the minimum effective dose, and how do I still hit failure during my workouts? Instead of more frequency, I asked, what if I gave my body more time to recover? Instead of chasing the pump and the burn, I asked, what if I focused purely on maximizing mechanical tension, intensity, and complete muscular failure? Before making this change, I was weak, injury prone, and stuck at the same plateau. My joints hit failure before my muscles did. And this is me 90 days after making this philosophical shift. More muscle, less fat, and zero joint pain. And I was spending a fraction of the time in the gym. The difference wasn't just physical. My entire relationship with fitness transformed. Within those 90 days, within only the first 1 to 3 weeks, I stopped dreading workouts because it stopped accumulating more pain. And then within weeks 4 and 5, my joints from the previous workouts had time to disappear, the pain from it. And beyond this, I stopped counting, and it was actually probably shorter than 90 days. Gains came faster than the previous 10 years combined. I had energy for the rest of my life. I could actually recover between sessions, and my max output started skyrocketing. And now when I actually do see how much volume I'm capable of just as a test, it's at least double where it ever was during my peak points during the last 10 years. Look, I get it. This contradicts everything you've been taught. It contradicted everything I believed for 10 years. You're probably thinking, but what about all the studies showing that volume routines drive hypertrophy? Or every successful bodybuilder does high volume, high frequency training. Or this sounds like lazy person cope. I had all those same objections. And in the complete guide, I break down why, even though the research does show this hypertrophy doesn't matter because of these hidden ceilings that the research behind volume-based training still has no answer to. And I want to show you how to build hypertrophy that doesn't hit these ceilings, because that's possible even though the fitness industry wants you to believe it isn't, or just straight up believes it themselves. And that's one of the reasons, among many, why fitness influencers are the worst people to take advice from, and I'll explain exactly why in my full guide, and why this approach is actually just as hard as traditional training during your workouts. Not easier, without all the added negative side effects, and sometimes even arguably even harder. And the science is there, the results are there, and the methodology is proven, but I need you to understand the complete system, not just a soundbite. Because if you try to implement this without understanding the philosophy behind it, you'll fail. And that's why I'm creating the complete guide, to give you everything you need to make this work. So here's what happens next. In a few weeks, I'm dropping for free the complete guide that covers the exact workout protocol I used to transform in 90 days, the full philosophy behind why less is actually more, and how to structure your recovery for maximum growth, which is arguably the most important part, other than the nutrition and the mindset shifts that make this work. How fitness, nutrition, relationships, and mindset all connect back into one system. This fitness content is just part one. Over the next few weeks, I'm releasing additional resources like this one on nutrition mistakes, mindset traps, and the relationship patterns that sabotage your health. Because here's what I learned. Fixing my fitness didn't work until I fixed everything else too. And this is done by fixing one thing, and then everything else just kind of compounds from there and is a byproduct of it. And that's what the complete guide reveals, is this full system. So subscribe if you don't want to miss the complete guide release, as well as the next videos, and drop a comment and tell me, how many years have you been stuck at the same level? I'll see you in the next one.